In this test case example, we will be using a university policy to demonstrate a common access control error called not protected resource. This error occurs when a resource has been created but without protection from any rules. An example could be an attribute value called resource folder B was created in a very large policy. However, by mistake, no rules were defined to permit or deny subject access to folder B in any policies. Due to this flaw, their system will have to enforce a default decision which may not end up being the originally intended decision. This can mean an individual being permitted access to folder B when you had intended the subject to not to access the resource, or alternatively, denying access when you had intended the subject to be able to access folder B. A not protected resource error can result in employees being unable to work efficiently due to unintentional privilege restrictions, or even possibly lead to a data leak if the resource were to contain sensitive information. If we quickly glance at our set of this example, we will notice we have several subject, resource, and action attributes, as well as two ABAC policies to demonstrate this not protected resource error. Our two ABAC policies, grade policy and TA policy, both have rule combination algorithms and policy enforcement algorithms as deny overrides and deny bias respectively. Grade policy has 9 rules and TA policy has 6 rules. Next, we will quickly look at the security requirement schema we will use for testing in this example. We have one individual security requirement to test if TA1 is permitted to view gradebook 3. Now we are going to run one combined policy verification so that we can see how our policies combined respond to our security requirement schema. We will click Model Verification, New Policy Verification, Test Case 2, select Grade Policy and TA Policy, select Combined Policy, and deny overrides. You will see one verification result for our one individual security requirement contained in our Test Case 2 schema. As you can see, our result is false, meaning that based on our two policies, TA1 has not been given permission to view gradebook 3. To understand why we have generated this false result, we can click on our verification results to see which policy rules are matched with our result. If we first look at our grade policy, we will see all match results are not applicable. This makes sense because if we look at our subject attributes in this policy, we have not defined any rules for TA1 in this policy. However, now looking at the TA policy, which we definitely know that we have rules defined, we can check out the results and see all match results are also not applicable. This can only mean one thing. If all match results in all of our policies are not applicable, that means we haven't provided any rules related to TA1 viewing gradebook 3. If we look at our TA policy, we'll notice that all other grade books are able to be viewed by the TAs. Thus, our system's default decision to not permit the TA1 to view this resource is not what we would have intended. For simplicity purposes, these policies are quite small, but in large organizations, especially this error, could have very easily gone unnoticed until the system was handling live requests. To resolve this policy flaw, we'll need to make some changes to our TA policy by adding a new rule. We'll go back and add new rule 7, in which we will define that TA1 can view gradebook 3, as is the case with all other gradebook resources. Now we want to test again to ensure that our changes are in fact resolving this error. We can do this quickly by simply refreshing our previous policy verification results. After doing so, we will see this not protected resource error is no longer occurring because we've provided a rule for this resource. However, due to our policy verification enforcement algorithm, where we selected deny overrides, we are still getting a false result. If we were to go back and change our combination algorithm and refresh our test results, we'll now get a true verification result. Whenever we are doing a combined policy verification and the two policies have conflicting verification results, the combination algorithm will ultimately decide what the combined decision is. You can download this completed University Test Case 2 project file on the Security Policy Tool website. Thank you.